champion and new DFAC Pro, it's Zina Akulabi.
Welcome back to another video. So you're joining me in the car once again. I'm not driving to the gym yet. I'm about to make pre and I don't have any chicken, so I'm running to Asda to grab some chicken. I don't like Asda chicken, so anyone that works in Asda, sort it out. Like, it's not good. If you use Asda chicken, what are you doing? I know I'm going to get it, but it's because it's 2 minutes from my house and I'm not going to drive elsewhere. I hate doing anything out of my routine pre-session. So the fact that I have to go here already is not good, and then it's going to be shit chicken. So yeah, it's just not ideal, but it is what it is. At least I can just run and grab some, which is a positive. So yeah, I'm going to run, grab some chicken, and then I am going to take you back. I'm going to cook the chicken, and I'm going to prepare my pre-workout drink, which somebody actually asked to see. So I'm going to take you through what pre-workouts I use at the moment, because I do love a good pre-workout. So yeah, I'm going to get into Asda, get this chicken, get home, cook the chicken, make the pre, and then we'll get to the gym. Okay, so pre is about to be made. If you don't weigh your pre, it's already going wrong. So we're going to use defib, which is always a go-to for myself. I enjoy this one a lot. I need a scoop. We're going to go with about a serving and a half. So a serving is 11 grams. We're going to go just under 2 scoops. Leave that scoop in there. And then we are going to go with Max, which again is very, very good. I'm going to go with a full serving of this. So I believe that is 15.7. So I should go more than a full serving. I'm going to go 16 grams. So I'm feeling like an absolute madman. 16.2. Big pump pending. And we're also going to put some salt in there. This salt has been the bane of my life recently. It's not working properly. It's not coming out. Not good at all. So we use the backup, some pink salt. So when we're at it, we'll also weigh out the salt for the pre-workout meal, which is currently cooking up in the air fryer. So that will be chicken and the potato that the chicken I got from Asda, potato that I prepared earlier while I was at Asda. I left it in the air fryer, so that should be looking all good. Don't know if you can see it. They're looking good. So yeah, that is my pre-workout. So we've got Max, defib, some salt for a big pump. Welcome to another voiceover. So in the first video, I got some feedback and people want to see a little bit more training. So I am going to include pretty much my entire push session in this video, and I'm going to talk you through it. So this is the session following the BNBF Southern, which was a really, really good show. A long day. I think we left the house at like 8, we got back at like 11. So you know, when you are dieting, it's a long old day, and you're in the car for that amount of time. You know, it's not the end of the world, but it definitely takes it out of you. And you know, I thought that this session maybe wouldn't be as productive as it was, but it was a really, really good session. I think that's just a case of not allowing your mindset to weaken, if that's the right word, and just go into the gym and give everything that you've got. And that's what I did here. So 3 sets on this lateral raise to get things kicked off. So I do a higher rep set first, and then I go with a slightly lower rep set, and then it's a mid to high rep set again. So that first set is essentially to establish a bit of a connection with my side delts, which I'll be honest, today or on this day, it's currently the day after, but for some reason they were, I got a good pump in them eventually, but it was a little slower which again is inevitable at times, but it wasn't anything bad, and you know, it feels good, and this machine I actually get along with quite a lot. So yeah, I'll also probably get a question like, why am I wearing the using the handles? It just feels good. It allows me to connect a little bit better, and I'm able to actually like feel my delts a touch more when I use them. So next up, we move on to the Prime flat press. So I actually really like this press. I used it in my off season for a good while, but then I didn't, and then I did again. But it feels really good. I actually quite like the loading setups that I've got currently. If I was to run an extra set, I'd probably run another with maybe a little bit of a different load split. However, I'm currently running 2 sets. One with all load on the middle peg. So this is the warm up for that first set, all the load on the middle peg. So I work up to about 3 plates here. And that feels really good. And I actually matched reps on this set today. So I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, so I clearly didn't want to crop this out. But yeah, so warming up, I did a warm up with a plate, 2 plates, 2.5. And then I think I should go into my working set. Maybe I won't. Maybe this is going to be, yeah, I know. So we're going to leave that in there. So yeah, always put the clips on. I think it definitely makes sense. It just allows you to get into a bit of or allows you to start off in a safer position and get your setup in a good spot. So Jesus, I really should edit this out, shouldn't I? But we're just going to run with it, because why not? You know, I said I was going to keep it raw. It's called Cav Raw, isn't it? So yeah, that's me having a little sing along to my music, which right now, I'll be honest, music is super important within my sessions. Like if I have the wrong song on, like it does take my focus away. So yeah, here is the warm-up set. So 2.5 plates, and hopefully we go straight into the working set. Here we go. So get myself ready for that working set, which is 3 plates, slightly lower reps than I ideally would like. However, I did match reps, so I'll take that. You know, I feel safe on here. Like, I'm relatively comfortable pressing heavy for me. So, you know, this feels good, and I get off it and it feels decent in the right places. So as long as that's the case, you know, I'll take that. If it fell below 6 reps, I probably wouldn't want that, to be honest with you. But, you know, here with just being at 6 reps, you know, I'll take it. I think I even went for a 7th, which was a bit adventurous, but it is what it is. And then my client was actually in the gym as well, so we need to adjust the setup a little bit on this press. It's relatively new for him, but it was good to give him a spot. He's a younger guy that is genuinely doing very well at the moment, so I'm excited to keep him going through a bit of a gaining phase and then do a diet soon. So yeah, all is good. Back off set here. So as I was saying, on the first set, I put all the load on the mid peg, so it's through the mid range. And then on this set here, we've got a little bit more bias in the lengthen, so just on peg 1 and 3. So we've got 2 plates up top, 1 on the middle, so still 3 plates across the 2 sets. But this one genuinely feels, you know, considerably easier, having a bit of that load in that lengthen range. The main thing here is just actually getting into that lengthen range. I'll be honest, like sometimes I probably miss it a little bit, but you know, it's good enough. It's good enough for what I want, which is key. Okay, next up is the Atlantis shoulder press. This is one of my favorite shoulder presses. I got pretty strong on this in my off season. I think I was doing like over 5 plates at one point. I think I was. Whereas now I've actually come down. I went down to about 4 and a 15, 4 and a 10, and now I believe today I went down to a 4. So that's been over like, not over like a couple of sessions. Like that's been over like months and months and months. So yeah, last warm up here at 3 plates. I tend to not do too many warm ups because I actually find they fatigue me at the moment, and mentally like just takes away focus. So I do enough and then get going. As you can see, clips on here as well. You could probably get away with not using the clips, to be honest, but it also is just a bit of a mental thing where I quite like having them on there. So yeah, we've got the Atlantis shoulder press, 4 plates here. I think I matched reps on here as well, which was 7 reps. I forgot to say the reps on the back off for the flat press, but I actually think I was a rep up on that set, which is pretty sweet. And then on the Atlantis shoulder press, which you're watching now, like I said, 7 reps here, and then matched on the second set, which is 3.5 plates. So not too much of a drop off in load. And I think I got about 10 reps. Someone might count and get it wrong. Tell me I got it wrong, but yeah, I believe it was about 10 reps. So on the back off, I'll actually move through a little bit of a quicker tempo just because it tends to feel quite good for me. You'll also notice that I shift my hips forward on this press just because, again, it feels the best for me. So find what feels good for you and do it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overstress it. Then on to some of the more boring, pumpy stuff. So we've got the pec deck. I actually really like this, to be honest. It feels really, really good at the moment. And again, I've come down considerably in load, but I actually did that purposely. So in my off season, I think I probably got carried away, put a little bit too much load on there, came down, and I've just stuck with that throughout the entirety of this prep. And yeah, it feels good. Same with this lateral here. I always find that with like a single arm cuffed lateral, it feels good for set amount of time, and then it just starts to feel a bit shit. So I always come back down in load, which is now I'm working with considerably less, and it feels good. So yeah, I finish up with triceps, and I'll leave it there. Right, so we are going to go with another voiceover, but I'm not going to talk too much about the session. I'm going to talk about a topic that I think is super, super important and hopefully will help some people out while I'm also letting you watch me train. So first things first, you might notice me like getting the plates there. I'm not saying hoard the plates, however, I do think that getting them in advance is definitely useful, especially when you need a couple of them, because yeah, even in like peak off season I'll do that because it's fatiguing walking around trying to get plates. So anyway, I am warming up for my RDL here, so I'll let you watch the warm-ups and the working set, and then I'll talk about the actual topic that I want to discuss, which I touched on very, very briefly in like a passing comment at the start of the video, which was your pre-session routine or your pre-workout routine. I joked about not liking to go outside of it. So I'm going to talk through why I think it's really important and some things that you can think about to do before your session that are going to have a productive effect on your session or a positive effect on your session. So this is the last warm-up with the RDL, so a poor week 3 plate RDL as the last warm-up, but it actually felt very, very good considering warming up and moving those plates around. I felt not great at all. Like, yeah, like temperature was a bit up and down, lips were tingling. Like anyone that's dieted will know what I'm on about. But yeah, I got mentally ready, and yeah, I ended up having actually a pretty decent set. I actually think it was 1 rep down. However, it moved fairly well. I still felt like safe in the set, and for like the body weight that I'm currently at, I'll take it, to be honest with you. So yeah, at the moment, like, my glutes and hamstrings are sore continuously. Like I can't remember the last time they're not sore, and also since the show, like sitting down, they've been sore like all the bloody time. So yeah, I'll let you watch the set, and then I'll come back and talk about the topic. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed my RDLs. So now we're on to the pull down, and I'm going to talk about the pre-workout routine and how that can be genuinely the make or break of a session. And that goes for if you are peak off season or if you are, deep into a diet. I think when you're deep into a diet, it can make a big difference in terms of how productive that session is. But also when you're, deep in an off season, it can also be the make or break of a session, because, we know that realistically when you're lifting the heaviest weights you have and, you're carrying a load of body fat and you feel a bit fatigued or whatever it may be, you need to be mentally in those sessions, just like when you are at your leanest. It's a slightly different mindset, but it still applies. So the first thing is switching off from what you've been doing that day already. So this is a difficult one for people, and people that have a job where they're super consumed by lots of different things will say that they can't do that. So I'm going to put this in. I didn't actually realise that I filmed this. I just forgot it was recording. But yeah, so people that have busy jobs with lots going on will say that it's hard to switch off. But this is something that you need to learn to do, and it is a skill that will genuinely make your sessions continuously better and better. And that's something that's really, really important. So before a session, I like to leave all of my work, all of my client work. I like to box off as much work as I can so that my mind is fresh. And I try and almost like put it in a little box and lock it away until I'm done with the session. And that starts before I actually even get ready for the gym. So tip number one, switch off from all your tasks. Change what you're wearing. Sounds crazy, but wear something different. Don't just wear what you've already got on throughout the day. Get changed into some clothes that are going to be your pre or your training clothes. This really helps from getting the mindset from, okay, I'm working, to now I'm in that pre-session athlete mode, if you want to call it that. Next up is watching some YouTube. So you've got me to watch, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, there's no excuse. You can just watch me chatting and doing my sessions. But genuinely, it gets you in the mood for a session, it gets you ready, and it allows you to see how somebody else is training. The amount of times I'll look at clients, I'll be like, have you actually watched somebody else train? Like, this isn't the intensity we want to train at. So seeing somebody else train is super, super useful. Next up is consistency. So consistency with what you do before your session, even if it's only 10-15 minutes before, because your life elsewhere is inconsistent and things are all crazy different times of the day. That's absolutely fine, but creating consistency within those 10-15 minutes before the session is super, super important. For myself, creating consistency with my pre-workout meal is really, really important. And then even when I drink my pre-workout, when I listen to certain music, all these things that get me ready for the session. So hopefully you can take something away from that, and hopefully it will allow you to have some better sessions. So I'll let you watch the rest of this, and I'll catch you in the next clip. I am going to wrap up the video today, which is Friday. The first sip of coffee is about to go in. It's still a bit hot, so I always like to leave it cool down a little bit, because I don't have the strongest of mouths while out and about. But yeah, I always burn my mouth with coffee, so I don't know if anybody else does that. So I always make it and leave it probably like half hour before I actually sip it, but it looks good. So yeah, it's black coffee. So yeah, it's Friday. It is a rest day today. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I'm just doing some work, gone over my own photos, gone over my own data, filled everything out that I need to. The last couple of sessions, which you would have seen, push and pull, were both good. Push was really, really good. Pull was, again, a good session, but definitely took a little bit more to get into it. And then the same with legs yesterday. Like, your legs was definitely tough. But it's very, very, like, I did a post on it. It's like pretty cool how you can almost like shock yourself, and really sort of just get after it when you just get into your head a little bit. And I ended up having a really, really good session. Like, session rating was as high as it could possibly be, in my opinion. So very, very happy with that. So much needed rest day today. Glutes, hamstrings, quads are pretty damn sore, which is just, it's all the time at the moment. It's all the time. So yeah, legs are sore. I've got to probably go and do another food shop today. To be honest, like, I always try and keep these things for like rest days, just because it tends to, like I said in the last video, get me out of the house, gets me away from this desk, which on rest days I spend a lot of time here. So I'll wrap up some work this morning, and then I will go to a food shop, get some bits that we need, get everything that we need. That'll tick off a few thousand steps. I'd say a few thousand, it'd be like 2,000 steps. That'll tick off some steps, and then I'll come back, continue working on, try and wrap up work sort of like early evening, mid-afternoon, and try and chill out then, ready for some big sessions over the weekend. Like I said, I'm wrapping this video up here simply just so I can put it out on Saturday. I'm going to aim to get a video out either Saturday or Sunday, hopefully every week now for the remainder of prep, and hopefully continue this, maybe not weekly, but probably weekly for a good part, like coming out of prep as well. So that's obviously not for a long while away yet, but for now, videos are going to be coming out Saturday or Sunday, ideally. So yeah, I will leave it here. Hopefully you have enjoyed this one. If you have, then I would appreciate if you subscribe. If you like the video, then obviously give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any comments at all, genuinely, I think it does help. I'm not too sure with YouTube. Like, obviously, I don't really, like, I'm only just starting it, so I don't know. But I'm assuming that comments probably do help. So if you want to put a comment in, put a comment in. And again, if you want to share it on your story, then much appreciated. And I did actually share the handful of people that shared them on their stories last time as well. And it's very cool to see the sort of like people that are watching and where they are in the world, which is pretty nuts to me, because yeah, to be sat in this little, sat in this office in Cardiff and having people in, I think one of them was like Seattle, which is just fucking crazy. But anyway, thank you to anybody and everybody that has watched this far, watched the last one. There's plenty more to come. I'm excited to take you through the prep and about things. But for now, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch up with you all soon.